Hey everyone, Rascal here.
And Mama, welcome to our podcast.
Today we're finally covering
Yes.
the Demon Slayer movie, Mugen Train.
Yes, and this takes place before Season 2's Entertainment District arc. Now, Tanjiro and his friends board the Infinity Train for their
Yes.
next mission.
Not to be confused with the TV show.
Right. To destroy a demon that's made over 40 people disappear. Now, teaming up with the fire Hashira Rengoku. I love him! This film delivers all the best action it can in 2 hours, and we wish it was longer!
And before we start that, be sure to like, subscribe, and click notification bell to updates to future podcasts and all the pause videos.
Yes. Oh my gosh, this movie, you can't say enough great things about it. There is no question to why this has made over, is it $6 billion?
Yeah, I think so.
So far, or 60 billion?
Might
Six
be more.
or 60.
It might be more by the time you're here.
And it should make another 60 billion because this is one of the greatest anime or animated movies we've ever seen.
Yes. And it took us a heck of a while to see this because this was the first time we actually started advertising anime movies here in the States on TV. So they usually just advertise them at the theaters or online. This is the first time they chanced it and put it on the Toonami lineup where they would advertise the movie. So there were lots of people that went to see it because of the success of the MHA movies with Two Heroes and Heroes Rising. So when Mugen Train came out, they expected, oh yeah, it's going to do well, and it did. But they kind of underestimated the success of it because Demon Slayer is still world renowned right now as one of the most popular animes out at this time. The movie made so much money, it was breaking record after record after record in the US and in Japan.
Unbelievably, there are people who call this particular show mid. I'm not sure why. It's just one of the best things you've ever seen. And yes, it broke records the first week it was out, and I think it was really brilliant of them to advertise this movie. Unfortunately, MHA and Right New Jujutsu Kaisen 0, they aren't advertising here. And they're, Jujutsu Kaisen is going to be out in another month, as at the time we're doing this, and MHA already came out last year and they didn't advertise. And I think it's really unfortunate. I do believe having those ads really upped the attendance in theaters for this movie because they advertised it.
Yes.
Because people who didn't know there was going to be a movie, people who may watch it,
Yeah.
and just, they just maybe didn't know. Or people
Right.
who've never even heard of it, well, you know what, that looks good, I'm going to go see it.
Right.
It really, I think, made a difference in that marketing choice made a huge difference in the reception and in the payout.
Yeah. And at the time this movie was announced to come out, we had not watched Demon Slayer at all. We had heard of it. We had seen it being blown up all over the internet. People were loving it. And we saw like an announcement
we actually had seen it on Netflix.
Okay.
I had seen one episode on TV on Toonami, and it looked interesting, completely forgot about it. And then they put it on Netflix. And then when we heard the movie was coming out, we watched it on Netflix thinking, oh, maybe Netflix will put the movie on.
Yes.
But they didn't.
Right. But you can see it on Crunchyroll at least, but I think you prefer to at least own or watch it on Netflix. So with that, we watched the whole thing on Netflix and then waited months for the movie, and then it finally came out. We bought it and watched it about the same day. And when you see the movie itself, it doesn't feel like you're watching 2 hours. We've seen movies that are only 90 minutes or less and are so slow, so badly written and things that it feels like you've been watching for 2 or 3 hours. But with this movie, this Mugen Train movie, it felt like you were watching maybe an hour or less because it was that good and that long. And then when we actually went to check, it was like the movie's almost over, and couldn't believe that it was almost over.
Yes, and we were so sad. It's like, no, why isn't it longer? And I think, again, another brilliant move, of having this movie take place between the first and second season, it really made you want to see that movie because you didn't want to go into season 2 not knowing what the heck was going on. Another brilliant move.
Right. So now for a lot, like when they had the MHA movies and things, it was always questioning whether the movies were canon to the story or not. So by them confirming that it's part of the anime, not the manga, but still canon, people still thought it was not canon because it was not in the book. So for Demon Slayer, they made sure to announce that yes, it is part of the story. It's like My Little Pony. If you don't see this movie, you go to the season like, okay, what happened? And the whole thing is an arc. And then even when they did season 2, they played the arc again with some extra scenes added in to fill in a 30-minute slot.
Right. So the final episode of season 1 sets up for Mugen Train.
Yes.
And yes, you have to watch that first season, at least that last episode, to know how this plays into the storyline for the series.
Right.
And when it starts off, you're thinking one thing is happening, but another thing is happening that you don't find out until later.
Yes.
And the crap has already hit the fan. You're
Yes.
just not aware that it's already hit the fan, because the last time we see our heroes, they are getting on the train boarding, and Tanjiro's excited, and we see Rengoku, and we know that he's going to help them. It's like, oh, okay.
Yes. And then everything happens.
But you're not aware of it, because when you first start the movie, you think one thing's happening.
Right.
And it was, again, just a really good setup for the action that takes place the rest of the movie.
Yes. And one of the favorite parts, I think for a lot of people, is that they have sort of the standard thing where there's a monster on the train, gotta defeat it and all. And they see Rengoku battle for the first time. He's on there, and they didn't know he was there. And he like ate just about all the food on the train. It's like, what everyone else gonna eat then? They ate everything. And this monster, looks like this monster attacked, and he finishes off with a bunch of fire type blows. And he was just Tanjiro was actually talking to him before it happened, was anything about the move his dad did and all, so maybe he could learn it. And it was sort of like talking to other people that had the fire moves. And then like after the fight was over, the whole mood changed and went from being action, then went to being comedy, because then it's like, oh wow, that was so cool, can you teach me that? May I be your apprentice? Yes, of course, I want to be your apprentice. Oh, train me, big brother Goku. He's like, yes, I will train you all.
Yes,
they're orbiting him. They're like, big bro, train us. So like, what the heck's going on?
And if you are a regular watcher of anime, you know that delightfully hilarious moment is setting you up for the crap.
Yes.
Because after that, there were none, not a zip, delightful, fun parts. It was all action and high intensity and hair raising and non-stop.
Nightmare fuel.
Didn't stop.
Yes, it was literally like, I think the title, well, it's called Infinity Train, but they changed it because they want people confusing for the Cartoon Network show, thinking that was a movie for it. But the Infinity Train seemed to fit, because not only did the train seem to go on forever, like that Scooby-Doo movie, there were points here where the action and the story just kept going. The action kept going. The intensity kept going. It was a non-stop unraveling of the movie. So it had a very apt title.
I like in this movie you see growth. You see a lot of movies that are anime movies where the character grows and it doesn't count, like Bleach, because it's not canon. Or you see the movies where the character grows in the movie, like MHA, but because it's not connected directly to the season, you just see that person better within the season, and you're thinking, oh, well, they got better because they practiced. What I love in here is you see Tanjiro, and you see Inosuke, and you see Kinetsu. They all grow in here. And when it's done, it's canon. So that growth doesn't get lost, and you're going, oh my gosh, the growth was so great, what they did was so awesome, too bad it doesn't count. It does. And you go into season 2, you get to see them put that growth into action. I absolutely love it.
Right. And like I said, we have been hearing so much about this movie. People still talk about it, people still watch it and things. Even long before they had season 2, because some will just watch in Japanese. Some went to the theaters within Japanese and then went back again when they had the English dub. And they also have it available on the streaming services. But however, it was harder for some people to see it after the theatrical release because they let it only a limited time. So if people did not have the access to streaming, then they were just left in the dark. And unfortunately, a lot of people were open to spoilers. So luckily, it didn't affect the result of the box office, but it did kind of affect purchasing it or streaming it because so many people had already went to see it and it had told a majority of the film and big plot points
including
of it before.
the ending.
Yeah,
including knowing what was going to happen, and we were just like, please, we're going to watch it anyway, but please don't have told us everything.
Right, and we only knew about maybe one thing, which we won't spoil in here, but other than that, everything else was a surprise and really glad it was, because if we had seen everything, it wouldn't have been the same experience. And you can understand when a lot of people feel like that with any anime or any show.
And now that it's just, so huge and so blown up, we can forget seeing any more seasons of the Mugen Train. And we heard that it may be coming to Netflix in March of 2023.
Yes.
It would be great for those of you who don't want to buy the movie or don't want to buy the seasons and don't want to pay for Crunchyroll and or Funimation, and you have Netflix, you get to see it. But right now, the only way you can see season 2, because of this humongous success, is you have to pay. Crunchyroll and Funimation both have series available, or anime series available that you can see for free by just registering and downloading the app.
Right.
Or installing the app. But now, anything connected with Demon Slayer cannot be seen for free from Mugen Train on.
Right. Because,
So
yeah.
all you can see is season 1.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate because, like I said, the show is worldwide popular, and looks like some companies here have a problem with it, but instead of trying to distribute it or producing more content, they're trying to cut off access to the movie into other seasons and stuff for ones who are new to it. And it's so bizarre to see it because this is a really great movie. It's one of our favorite anime films.
Yeah.
And the fact that there could be a point in the future where you cannot see these movies either at the theater or anywhere until they're available on DVD, and you can't support it until months after it's out, it's gonna be kind of chaotic for anime fans.
I think anything connected with Demon Slayer and movie theater is going to happen. I think they made so much money, there's no way in heck they're going to cut off the opportunity to see it in the theater. But as you said, on streaming, you can't do it without paying. Now, if you have Netflix, hooray, and if you've never seen this, even better, go to Netflix now and watch it. The full first season is there. And you will be so excited after seeing season 1 and the final episode that you're going to want to see Mugen Train. And then after seeing Mugen Train, you're going to go and see season 2.
Yes.
And from what we know that's out there, season 2 is not disappointing at all. It's just as high energy and exciting as the movie. We've seen only the first episode so far. Again, Crunchyroll and Funimation are allowing you to watch without paying for a subscription. So we're trying to see which one is better. It looks like right now we'll probably end up going with Crunchyroll because it streams better and it tends to have both the simulation and the Japanese with subtitles available for a lot of the series. But I can tell you after seeing this, Tanjiro is my favorite. Of course, I love the others too as well, Nezuko, but Rengoku, oh my gosh, I fell in love with Rengoku this movie.
Yes.
It's just like,
And one more thing to definitely point out is that this also set another bar for anime and animation in general, and also pretty much started this little trend with anime that's still new. Like I say, Heroes Rising with the MHA movies. I'm about to say just specifically movies, but yeah, the MHA movies kind of started this thing where after every season or every other season, they would have a theatrical film that would be canon to the anime, and so you don't have to watch it, but it's something really fun and big to watch in between seasons. And I think that pretty much sparked something with a lot of these people, because now these animes are beginning to make movies that are canon to the storyline. There's no questioning it, and they're making them into movies now, and you have to see them. So there's guaranteed to get purchases out of it, because now we've seen Mugen Train movie for Demon Slayer, and now Jujutsu Kaisen with the Zero movie has this a prequel, but it's still something you gotta see before you see the next season. So now we're getting to see a trend of canonical anime movies that are part of watching the regular series.
And it's a great move because MHA has some amazing theatrical movies. But again, even though they're canon to the series, they aren't canon as part of the series where you have to see it to know what's going on, except for the second movie where when you see the end, you kind of were like not happy because that ending didn't end up going into the next season.
Right.
But maybe now what's happening, as you mentioned, the next movie that comes out for MHA will be like Demon Slayer, and you have to see it in order to know what's going to happen in the next season. It would be a great move because unfortunately our MHA World Heroes didn't do as well as we hoped. We thought, oh wow, Demon Slayer did this great, the MHA is going to kill it. And MHA barely made, I think, 40 million here. And it was a surprise because the first two movies that came out, they did, the first one was good. They did great because at that time there were no anime movies in the theaters here. The second movie did better because there was more theaters and they had like the red carpet opening and so forth. But this one, I think it got affected not only by the events that have taken place recently, but also no advertising. And because Demon Slayer, people were looking for this.
Yes.
And they weren't looking for what Horikoshi offers, which is something different and fantastic on its own. But they wanted what they got from Demon Slayer. And I think it really affected the box office, unfortunately. So hopefully the next movie that does come out, maybe he'll make it where it's canon to where you have to see it before you can go into the next season and it connects. It will be a lot better for them.
Yeah. And really the only thing we have had here that has a similar style with MHA and Demon Slayer having a movie in between would be My Little Pony. It's the only one that's been done here where it was a big event you had to see before going to the next season, and that hasn't been done since. So I think a lot of people here should get started doing that, and it will guarantee sales.
Yes, definitely. So if you haven't seen Demon Slayer at all, watch season 1, then watch the movie either on Crunchyroll or Funimation, or you can buy it in stores. Don't go to Target. Target's charging double the amount everyone else is charging. We got our copy from Walmart for $19.99, and yes, it is Blu-ray, and it's fantastic to see, excellent quality, beautiful. Only disappointment is there's no special features along with it, and we really were looking for that. But you'll still love this movie. And then go to season 2, again, watching on Crunchyroll and Funimation, because Toonami is too cheap to get it for us. I really don't think that we are worth it. So you decide how to treat Toonami after this.
Right.
And if you have seen Mugen Train, please let us know what you think in the comments. If you saw it in the theater, tell us your experience. Tell us how much you loved it. Tell us how far you're into season 2 as well, if you're watching it.
Right. And be sure to like, subscribe, click notification whether you have this future podcast and we'll pause video.
And tell us if you love Rengoku as much as I do now.
Yes. So, thank you so much for watching. I'm Rascal Entertainment.
And I'm Mom Entertainment.
Have a fantastic day.
Peace.